You've made that clear. But getting on birth control without telling him, that's a horrible thing to hide from your husband. You guys need to communicate. You can't just get on birth control and not tell him. That's so wrong. Things that he tells me that I think he should talk to you about.
What's going on, people? We are back again with another MovingMAD video. And you know what though, when it comes to Jovi and Yara, we know that trust is definitely a big issue in their relationship. But you know what I also find quite irritating as well is Jovi's mother's involvement. Now, of course, when it comes to Jovi, he works away a lot, so therefore the mother's there always to help Yara out with their baby, which makes absolutely sense. I have nothing against that, right? But the problem with Jovi's mum, Gwen, is that she enables her son. Whether she agrees or not, she does that. I'm not saying she does it all the time, but she definitely does. Because if you're looking at the context here, Yara said that I already told Jovi multiple times that I do not want to have another child. But Jovi has ignored Yara every step of the way. So Yara had to take her own initiative, and that was by going on birth control. Now, I'm not saying that her going on birth control behind his back is the right thing to do. But this is the problem that you have if you're in a relationship where communication is unhealthy. When the communication is unhealthy, you end up doing things behind your partner's back. So if anything, to be honest with you, whilst Gwen is out here coming to Yara about, being wrong for doing this, I want to know, why is she unable to hold her son accountable for his actions in the situation? Yeah, she calls out the fact that these two have to work in their trust. But the fact is, if you ask me, the trust, it needs to be worked more on Jovi's side than it does on Yara's side. Because he's the one that's always dictating everything and never allows her to breathe in any direction. And because of that, this is why we are where we are, where now she's having to take birth control behind his back because he's not listening to what she's trying to tell him. Gwen is behaving as if Yara never even tried to have a conversation with Jovi about children. She tried and tried and tried, and he ignored. And now you don't even want to hold your son accountable? If anything, in my opinion, Gwen should be like, listen, Jovi, my son. That was so African, wasn't it? Jovi, my son. But she'd just be like, listen, Jovi, I don't agree with the fact that Yara had to hide it from you that she was in birth control, but we need to look at why she did it. And you're my son, and it's important for me to be honest with you. And the fact is, you was not listening to your wife, so therefore she went behind your back to do this. I do not agree what she did, but I understand why she did it. Maybe if you start listening to your wife more, these things wouldn't happen. Now, that is exactly the reaction that she should be given. But instead, she just wants to enable her son that she used to put into flipping pageants as a kid all the freaking time. Honestly, you understand sometimes in life when people have this level of entitlement, or people have a certain level of narcissism, some people are just born with it, I guess, I don't know. But some people, they get it because of their parents. And Gwen is definitely one of those people that has allowed Jovi to feel that he's allowed to behave how he sees fit. And it's not fair. But we continue.
You had, wait, let me make this clear. So you had the offer to work it closest to home, but you refused it?
Yeah.
Turn off the work offer that he can work near home. It's kind of selfish a little bit because we want you home.
This is wild to me. This is absolutely wild. Because you see, we are in a position where you are telling me this. Jovi got upset with the fact that Yara would not, hid from him that she was on birth control. Jovi's mother even got upset with him because she hid that she was on birth control. And this is something that Yara was meant to be vocal about, yes? Okay, we do agree on that, but we understand why she did it. Okay, we'll put chat to the side for a second. Now let's bring in this problem here. So Jovi's mom knew that Jovi rejected a job that was closer to home. And Yara didn't. You see what I mean about Gwen's role in this relationship? She's always going to be biased to her son. And it's sad because her son's never going to learn that his choices are not good. His mother should have told him the second that he went to his mum and said, listen, I've got a job offer that means I'll be closer to home, but I don't want to take it. I'm going to hide it from Yara. She should have been like, no. First and foremost, you shouldn't be coming to me with this conversation. You should be going straight to Yara, first and foremost. But now you've come to me with it, you're going to go to Yara right now and have this conversation. Because you cannot make this choice without her. And the reason why his mom had to do that is because, well, one, she's his mother. And two, she knows what it's like to be married to someone. You see what I'm saying, okay? She knows how a woman would feel. She knows how much this would crush Yara, knowing that her husband could have legit been working close to home. And his excuse is because she wouldn't understand. No one gives a damn about the fact that she wouldn't understand. That's the whole point of a conversation. That's the whole point of a whole relationship. So therefore you have conversations so you can hopefully understand each other. If you're not going to have those conversations, then what's the point of you being with that person? Point blank, period. What's the point of you wanting to have another child with somebody that you can't even communicate with? What's the point of having another child with somebody and yet you don't even want to live closer to home, so therefore you can be there more? His excuse was, well, I don't want to be closer to home because it'll make things different. You know, because I'll be stuck in the office all day and I'll see you more but less. Because I'll be working 8 hours, so I'd see you after work, but I'll see you less because normally if I go and do a job elsewhere, I get like a whole month off, so therefore it gives you more time. Like, hold on a minute. I don't give a damn about what logic is going on in his mind. It is still a conversation that you have with your woman. Point blank. Come on, man. You know what I mean? And this guy wants to complain, along with his mother, complaining that Yara was in the wrong for hiding the fact that she was on contraception, even though she had actually voiced it. Meanwhile, he voiced nothing, and his mum voiced nothing, but yet they want to be mad at Yara. Last season, the last season that we saw Yara and Jovi on, Yara's friends kept saying, I don't know why you're with him, you can do so much better. Now, of course, their perception was the fact that they could do better purely because they don't think Jovi's a good-looking guy, and they feel like Yara can do far better because she's a better-looking woman than she. Like, basically, her standard of him is lower, right? Cool. Even though their perception of why she shouldn't be with Jovi was not the best one, this is a perfect reason why she shouldn't be with him, because you are in a situation where you are battling your husband as well as his mother. And then on top of that, we also experienced her in Croatia with her family for once. And Jovi didn't like the fact that her family was involved, the fact that her family had voices. But yet his mother's allowed to have a voice. But Yara's parents not allowed to have a voice. Yara's friends, do you see what I'm saying here? But yet he will go and tell his mother things before he tells his woman. Then he gets upset when Yara has conversations with her mother before him or whatever. Where is the healthy in this relationship? Because all I can see is the in the healthy in this relationship.
It will be perfect because I will see you. Not like now you're going for months. At the time I'm alone all the time, so how you are expecting me to raise your kids by myself and you have the chance to be near me and you choose to not be?
Occur to you that that would help resolve her wanting to have another child if you did work closer?
You know, I don't give a damn about the logic behind his choices, to be honest with you, because, you know, he sat there and said, well, if I'm working a job, you know, I'll just be working, coming home and being tired, and then I won't really get time to spend time with you. But if I work for 3 months and come back for a month, at least I've got all the energy to spend time with you. Again, I don't care for the logic, because the logic isn't what's important. What's important is that you didn't communicate this to your woman. And it's crazy, though, because he sat there and said that he understands that if you're taking the job offer, then maybe Yara would be more open to have another child, because she would have known, at least he would have been round, and therefore he would have been there more to help her with raising their kids. Fair enough, she gets help from Gwen, but as far as I'm concerned, usually when two people have kids, usually it's both of them that raise the child, not the woman and the woman's and then the man's mother. You know what I mean? That's not how it's supposed to go. Sometimes it has to go like that, but it's not how it's supposed to go. But it is interesting because clearly he's out here talking about how he wants to put pressure on Yara for another child, but yet he doesn't want to make the sacrifices to make her more comfortable to want to have another child. And one of those sacrifices would have been getting a job that is closer to home, and therefore she would have felt more like, okay, cool, we can do this. You see, this is the issue here. Stop moaning about what Yara's doing with her freaking body and how you want a baby, but yet you don't want to make any sacrifices. So you wanted to sacrifice her body to have a child, because let's not forget, a woman being pregnant is a sacrifice to her body. Point blank, period. View it how you want to view it. So he wanted to sacrifice her body for 9 months, or maybe however many months it is in terms of when it actually starts to, you know, become an issue. Do you understand? In terms of like, but either way though, we'll just go with the 9 months. Okay, you want to sacrifice her body for 9 months to carry another human being. Meanwhile, you don't want to sacrifice having a job that is closer to home. But at the same time, you get upset with her not telling you about contraception, but you show no emotion about her being upset by the fact that you withheld information that would have been great. Something that you would have been a good conversation to have. What's the point of being with somebody if you feel like they're not going to understand you, though? Let's talk about that, though. You know? Why are you with Yara if you feel like she's never going to understand you? Why? It just shows how you don't value your woman very much. You know what I mean? Like,
Finding his other piece to why he didn't want to take it?
Of course I will not push him to do something which he's not happy for. Of course I will never do that to you.
Do you trust that?
No.
This is so funny.
Jovi does not trust the fact that Yara would have understood his choice. Okay. then I have a very simple question. Very simple question. So, if I have two questions. One, why would you want to have another child with somebody who you don't trust? Two, which is the most important one, well, maybe just as important as the first one, why are you married to her? Don't forget to like, subscribe, and of course, peace.